Apache Junction Water District meeting to order. Roll call.
Chairman Surtee.
Here.
Vice Chairman Wilson.
Here.
Board Member Barker.
Here.
Board Member Evans.
Here.
Board Member Struble.
Here.
Board Member Rizzi.
Present.
Thank you. Board Member Schroeder. You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion on the previous minutes?
Mr. Chair, I move that the minutes of September 15th, 2020 be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Vice Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Barker.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Rizzi.
Yes.
Mr. Struble.
Yes.
Chairman Surtee.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration of a design of contract with Garney Companies.
Good evening, Chairman Surtee and members of the board. Quick presentation on our raw water impound. We talked a little bit about this last meeting. Again, we're through our 30% design. They have an estimated construction cost of $3.4 million, and then a construction time frame of 6 to 8 months. We've reached out to Garney Constructions, which originally built our plant out there. They have quite a few design build contracts with other cities. So they are putting together a proposal and giving us a do not exceed price for the final cost of this project. But to get them started, this is kind of a over 2 fiscal year project and get the final design completed so they can give us a final cost for this. We're looking to move forward with an agreement with them. Approximately $800,000 to get started, but it's more just to get the design finished up. And at that point, if it's way over budget or what's going on, we'll stop them at that point. We won't move forward with the project. But if it comes in within our financial responsibilities, then we'll move forward with the project at that point in time. So we wanted to bring this to you guys to let you know we had in our budget $800,000, and that's what our contract is for this year. And then we'll see where we're at for the remaining budget we'll need next year based on the final design costs.
Any discussion?
So if we delayed it 1 year, you could build up in 2 years to make the budget and then do it at that time?
We could do that too if we carry over that money to the next year. We're just trying to split it over 2 fiscal years so that we could have that amount of money at the same time. But that is a possibility also.
Okay.
Anyone else? So we need a motion then?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move that the design and construction contract between the Water Utilities Community Facilities District, City of Apache Junction, Arizona, and Corolla Engineers to design and build a raw water impound at the Superstition Area Water Plant located at 4850 South Ironwood Drive, Apache Junction, in an amount not to exceed $800,000 be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Barker.
Yes.
Mr. Struble.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Rizzi.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Chairman Surtee.
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration of resolution number 2020-009, authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement with the sewer district.
So we have an intergovernmental agreement with the Superstition Mountain Community Facilities District to purchase their effluent credits. We've had this for the past 5 years. It's due to expire on December 31st of this year. So we're looking to renew that contract with the sewer district for an additional 5 years. Again, at this point in time, we're not looking to purchase them because we're not utilizing 100% of our CAP water, but we have first right of refusal according to our agreement we'd have with them. As state land develops in the future, it may change the way we look at this and we may start to purchase those credits, but at this time, we're not fully utilizing all of our CAP water, so that's what we're looking to do first. But again, it's just another 5-year agreement, so we have this in place that if we need it, we can purchase those long-term storage credits from the sewer district.
Any questions or discussion? Okay.
I was just going to ask him to say Superstition Mountain Community Facilities District 3 times fast.
You don't have to do that.
No.
You don't have to take that
Thank
abuse.
you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I move that resolution number 2020-009, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Water Utilities Community Facilities District, City of Apache Junction, Arizona, authorizing the board chair to execute and enter into an intergovernmental agreement for the sale of long-term storage credits with the Superstition Mountain Community Facilities District Number 1 be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Struble?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Rizzi?
Yes.
Chairman Surtee?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration of Resolution 2020-010, approving a cafeteria plan with flexible spending account.
As I mentioned in our last meeting, we have our flexible spending account that was from a calendar year, which the city is on a fiscal year. So we're going to approve a 6-month plan to get us to July 1st, and then we'll go on the annual plan like the city so we can match their same health benefits as they have. So on our flexible spending account, we're recommending to get an approval for a 6-month plan and then an additional 1-year plan after that so we match the city.
That makes sense.
It doesn't change our costs in any way, shape, or form. So.
Nothing changes, it's just that shorter time frame so that we can get on the same schedule as the city has. Okay. Any questions?
Looks like no. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that resolution number 2020-010, resolution of the Board of Directors of the Water Utilities Community Facilities District, City of Apache Junction, Arizona, authorizing the adoption and restatement of the Employee Flexible Benefit Plan be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Rizzi?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Struble?
Yes.
Chairman Surtee?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor. Your
District-
Honor, if I may interrupt for a moment.
Sure.
The motion on item number 2 was incorrectly listed in the motion sheet for the contractor. The contractor should actually be Garney Companies in
And
the
what did
amount.
we read?
Garrillo.
I did hear Corolla.
Corolla.
It's Corolla.
Can we revisit that and remake the motion?
You should.
Okay, we're going to go back to item number 2, and I'm going to ask for a new motion.
Actually, Mr.
Do we
Mayor.
have to
if I may.
rescind the last motion?
Yes.
So do we have to do that with a motion?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Mr. Go ahead.
whatever we call them.
Rescind.
I move that we rescind the motion for item.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Struble?
We're
all
having a
messed up
problem.
tonight, aren't we?
We're having a problem.
Yes.
Where did I get Corolla?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Rizzi?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Chairman Surtee?
It's a shame to waste a good motion, but yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion passes. And a new motion to approve a contract with Garney Companies in the amount of $800,000,
So
please.
I'm asking for that motion now.
Okay, Mr. Chair, since I made the first one and it was incorrect, so it's Garney Companies, is that correct? Okay, I move that the design and construction contract between the Water Utilities Community Facilities District, City of Apache Junction, Arizona, and Garney Company to design and build a raw water impound at Superstition Area Water Plant located at 4850 South Ironwood Drive, Apache Junction, in an amount not to exceed $800,000 be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Struble?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Rizzi?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Chairman Surtee?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
District Manager's report.
No report, Your Honor.
District Director's report. And I know I asked you this time.
Yes, I have a report this time
Yes.
too. Just to give you guys an update where we're at with different things, we are entering into a job order contract that Revolution Industrial has with the city of El Mirage to paint an interior of a 5,000-gallon hydrodynamic tank. So last year when we did the 1 million-gallon tank at Booster 1, we also did the hydrodynamic tank there. It was about 5 to 6 years ago when we did Booster 2 tank, but we did not do the hydro tank interior at that time. We just did the exterior. So now we're going to go in and take that tank out of service, get somebody inside there, sandblast it, and recoat the interior of that tank so that we can get another 20 years out of it. So Just to give you a heads up, at a cost of $24,000, we had this in our budget for this fiscal year, but just letting you guys know what project we're working on out there. Any questions on that project?
Mike, where is this at and what will they see?
So this is at 545 East Baseline, which is at our public works yard just next to it there. We'll have a contractor come in with a sandblaster and some painting stuff. Probably a couple large trucks that will be in there, run some equipment, and they'll be there approximately 1 week. Because once we take it out of service, this is kind of our bladder tank for the system. We have another one at Booster 1. But that cushion in our system, when the pumps turn on and off, that lets the pressure go up and down in a smooth rate, will be out of service for that week. We'll utilize Booster 1 a lot more at that point in time, but we need to get it back in service so that we don't have any issues of surges or pipes bursting because this is out of service at that point in time. So they'll be working probably 10 or 12-hour days, about 4 or 5 days in 1 week and get it done.
Could customers have a little bit of pressure change if we do it right?
We should not see any pressure complaints or pressure changes out there in the system. The way we operate our system, we'll just up our Booster 1 to control that it's all one zone, so we're able to do that and take care of it. The pumps at Booster 2 will not be out of service. They just won't have that cushion in there, and the cushion will be at Booster 1, which is a few miles away. So that's where we have to limit the use of those pumps. Any other questions? No? Yeah. The next one that we have that we're working on, and this is a little bit of what's happening out there, what we're seeing today with state land going up for auction and everything. We're going to be looking back at our water resource acquisition fees and our water system connection fees. Okay, talking to some of the developers that may purchase this land, they want to form a new community facilities district that would be partners with the city, and the city would be the overall master community facilities district, and then we'd have an IGA with the city to maintain and operate those facilities for the city. Same thing with the sewer district. We take over those, but the main contract with the developers all through the city, and then we have an IGA with the city. So as a portion of that, the infrastructure can be funded through this CFD, but water resources cannot be funded through a CFD. Okay? So basic, and our water acquisition fee is based off our $3,000 an acre foot when we leased it from GRIC. When Gilbert just purchased some and leased it back in 2017, it was almost $5,500 an acre foot.
We got a deal.
So we got a pretty good deal, and the price per water here in Arizona is not going down. And if we want to be able to fund these to purchase more leases in the future, we need to probably up our rate, but this is what the study's going to do. We're going to look at where our contract was, where Gilbert's contract was, and any other new contracts that are out there in the valley to figure out where our water resource acquisition fees need to be at, so that if we have to go out and purchase an additional 5,000 acre feet, we can spend that money because development's paying for that as they came in to bring those resources to us at that time.
The connection fees that you're looking at updating, is that fees for just that area, or will those fees impact the current city?
So we're going to be updating those, and it could be different, depends upon what this new CFD is going to fund, because a lot of our hookup fees fund that infrastructure, because we oversize pipes or oversize the tank, and they're refunding us those dollars. That's what those hookup fees cover. So it may go down. Since they're not paying for them down there, the CFD is going to be paying for them, so they wouldn't pay us to pay back their CFD. The customers down there would pay for it under a taxing purpose, okay? So it's a little bit different method. So the water system connection fees may go down because the way that the state land may be funding, or the developer in state land may be funding it, so they may go down, but the water acquisition fee may go up because of the new prices that we have today.
Okay, I see.
So there may be an offset, but this is something that this study is going to do for us, is we're going to take a look at them again and see how we're doing. With the initial system connection fee that we had, we've already done 75% of the projects that was in that. So there was do the 1 million gallon storage tank at Booster 2, the concrete tank, we've taken care of that. It was to build the water treatment plant, we've taken care of that. So we're slowly getting through all those projects. There'll be a couple new projects that we add on there, probably a lower cost than what it was then. So in general, I'm seeing that price come down and water acquisition fees go up. So, but again, we got to be comparable to other cities out there so that we're not too high, and then we hamper development at that time. We don't want to do that either. So Again, that's why we're reaching back out. We're looking to Tischler Bice to do this study for us that did it in the past for a cost of $44,000, and it was included in our budget for $50,000 this year. So this is what we're looking to move forward with. We're going to actually bring in our past director, Frank Blanco, to help us out with the study, to gather some information to go through this so we can look at some of these resources that we will need for the future here.
Your Honor, I just wanted to make a comment about this is consistent with your long-standing policy and councils before that growth and new growth pay for itself. So this is consistent. I do think it's very smart, and we always do this, and you always ask us to do this, which is your underlying concern, which is testing, okay, how are we going to pay for the new down there, and then what will that impact or change? Could be either way on the 37 square miles that already is here in the city.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, Mr. Powell, that company is the same company that does the development
It
fee
is.
study, correct?
Right.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need some clarification. I'm not quite understanding this.
Okay.
So we are going to, via an IGA, form an additional community facilities district.
It's a possibility if this is what the developer state land, and I think Larry Kirsch will get into that a little bit later in your city council meeting.
Yeah, I know it's on tonight's agenda, but I thought we had time here.
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
you could explain it to me.
All the developers, 2 of the 4 that we knew were bidding, all of them expect the city to have a CFD and to establish.
Where? How?
Eh,
Explain.
Community Facility District is a,
I know what that is, but why an additional one?
so that growth will pay for itself.
So
That
this,
new
this will
area.
be located in the south? Are you talking about relocating
This CFD will
the
be
entire-
located in the south only.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm getting it through my
Yeah.
head now. So these will be different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
So this CFD would allow, I guess, the developer to
Right.
create a CFD tax, for lack of a better term, on those properties that are in his
Right,
development
I see.
area that would pay back those infrastructure costs that they have to build, because they're not just building for the 2,800 acres, they have to build for all 8,400 acres of state land.
And what is the benefit to the city from that?
The-
To the city as it is now? What is the
So this is a
benefit?
system that your great-grandfathers didn't do. Our fathers and our great-fathers did what was called a property tax. Meaning, this is the way in Arizona that you, as elected officials, can implement on future residents property tax to be able to pay over multi-generations a very, very expensive infrastructure that's a public good, whether it's sewer or water.
Okay, and that tax, quote unquote, goes to this CFD.
Correct. It goes to pay out the bonds that will be, so the developer will be taking the risk to, and Mike, help me as I go,
Right.
to implement the water lines, the booster pumps, everything that's
Okay.
involved. They will go to a bank and they will say, we need $50 million, and they'll put that in, and they'll do that. And then over time, your future residents will, in this geographic area, have a place on their line item in their property tax that they will pay more than other places. So the people that live in Eastmark, the people that live in master plan communities, pay more in their per capita rate of their house assessed valuation than the people in downtown Mesa.
Is there an expiration date on that?
It's probably that the underwriting of the loan. So I don't know if it's 30 years. So
Usually 30.
I think-
whatever the asset, the bonds pay off. It's usually 30.
So they give the money, they pay their taxes with their coupons or whatever online, goes to the county. The county then takes a look at who's supposed to get it, and the county's supposed to then send it to the recipients of the new residents, not the existing ones up here.
Does anybody ever pay those off early?
I am not, maybe, yeah, I don't know. If the interest rates the way they are now, and I
Probably
wouldn't
not.
imagine, yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
Probably not, because it's a tax over so many years, so they can spread that out rather than getting the initial cost right up front. Like if they would have to pay our hookup fee to refund those, if it happened faster, yeah, they get paid back faster, but this is a way for it to spread out so that the cost isn't a huge hit right up front. I think that's why developers look at some of these CFDs that they form, so it's not paying that $50 million with not seeing anything they know for over the next 30 years that it will get paid off, rather than, does it get paid off in 5 or does it get paid off in 50? They know, they've looked at the cost and spread it out over those years.
It's the residents who would buy those homes that are paying that off. So if they want to pay it off early, they'd have to pay more at that line item. But that's typically not, it's just like a bond. There's a set term, just like a long-term loan, if you
May
think of
I
it that way.
ask just one more question so that I have this really clear? So that will be a separate CFD from you.
That is correct.
So will that CFD also come before the board?
It will have its own separate
It will
board.
have its own separate board,
to.
okay.
Which will probably be this board.
Well, there's new state law
Plus another person, right,
that
Joel, or something
has,
like
you
that.
can have 2 additional people who own the property.
Right.
State law changed about 2 years ago, and then it could be 5 members of the council, and then 2 extra. But it could also be the full council and 2 extra. That's how the new CFD law is written.
Okay.
So, Yolanda, you know how CAG has its CAG Regional Council meeting, and then before there's an RTA meeting of just the Pinal County mayors? Similarly, we'll have to have another meeting that's set up and open meeting law, and
Okay.
the mayor would call it, but we'll have to sort out the issues on.
Whose
Yep.
plate is that?
What's that?
Whose plate? That's a real plate, I could.
That was
Oh.
Frank's plate.
That was Frank's.
So how does it get decided? Has it already been decided, or how will it get decided which water company supplies the?
Oh, we have that answer, yeah.
So we've looked at that. This first initial 2,800 acres is not an Arizona Water Company CCN. About, was it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we amended our service area to overlap the city's planning area. So this would be in the water district's planning area also.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. So
So
That's a
they-
good it's good to know right from where that area is. Yeah.
So the CFD down there, wherever south is, will handle bonding for pipes and all the rest of it, or
they will handle bonding,
for all of that?
expansions to the treatment plant, booster pump
I
stations,
gotcha.
pipes,
Oh, okay.
sewer, roads, streetlights.
Anything that's caused by that growth.
Any
Right.
infrastructure that they need will be as part of that CFD. So it's
Well,
just not a
Just
water.
not the
sewer.
wet stuff, though. The water acquisition is what we're having Tischler Bice look at, the actual wet stuff. So there's the maintenance of the facility, there's the building of the capital, and there's the actual water acquisition.
So
I'm
that
trying
it
to,
doesn't overtax what we have, the people that we have up here.
that's the
currently.
policy so all this action that we're doing is built upon the original policy of growth paying for itself as much as we can.
Correct.
Thank you very much for the clarification. It is far clearer in my head what's going on. Thank you.
Yeah, just give you just round numbers, just looking at it. If, we look at Gilbert's numbers of 5,000 an acre foot, say, just for this 8,400 acre state land, the initial phase, we may have enough, but for that is 20,000 acre feet. So we're looking at 5,000 acre, $100 million.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money that we need to figure out how we purchase these water resources so that we can keep growth going, or at least maintain it as we move through this process. So again, I don't think it's right to charge our existing customers. This is truly for these new customers. So this is how we need to get out in front of it and look to our future.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
If that is everything, then we're adjourned. No, District Treasurer's report.
Oh, yeah.
No report tonight, sir.
Okay, now we're adjourned.
Sorry to take up
Hey,
so much
Matt.
time.